Right, let's remember the key points in the drives all around the wicket. First important point is, as you pick your hands up, the hands must go back so you see a little bit of a shoulder turn in order to get maximum power into the shot. The next point is to get beside the ball and not in front of it. If you get beside the ball, you have room in which to hit it. The third point is, as the hands come through, the weight must transfer so that your hip weight is right up above your front foot and over the ball. So your head is right underneath the ball. So as you hit, you're making absolute perfect contact there. Bat straight and then follow through with your arms as straight as possible to stay on line with the ball. You can finish here in what is called a stop drive, or you can follow through at the end, keeping your hands straight in a follow-through drive perfected by the great Sir Leonard Hutton. So again, make sure you follow through and get the weight correct. So that's a straight drive. That applies with slight variation to the drive through the covers. Watch again, same back lift, the turn, watch the rotation of the shoulders and hit the ball through the covers. Obviously there's an element of danger here because your bat on contact is only half a bat and you can get caught at slip. So it's important to remember that. The on drive, one of the hardest shots in cricket to play. Not really if you apply the same principles. Again, pick your bat up high, get the foot out of the way and follow through along your shoulder line. Again, the hands going right the way through the ball and not working across it. Make sure you go all the way through and you'll really will enjoy driving the ball for four. I'd like to highlight the following points when you come down the wicket to change a bowler's length. Okay, it's important to remember that when you come down a long way and not just a short way. In other words, your first stride must be a full one. So as I come down, make a full first stride of my front foot there and take my shoulder towards the ball where it's going to pitch, or where at least I hope it's going to pitch. Slide my back foot behind in order to keep my head level and give myself a little bit more room to go through. If I keep my foot a little bit further back, I don't get as far as I should do. Then I come down finally with the final stride, turn the shoulder and hit the ball for four. And if I can't get there, for example, if I'm a little bit short, then I've got to stop and just play the ball back. I mustn't be caught out and get stumped if I'm not to the pitch of the ball. Let's go through that again. Let's remember, nice high back lift, get down the wicket, good first stride, chassis behind, second good stride, turn the shoulder to get the shot in and hit the ball for four. I can hit the ball for six if I want. I've got to lean back to do it and I've got to go there, but my hands must continue and extend right the way through the shot so the ball goes over the boundary. I'll just show you that a little again. Picking the bat up, big step down, chassis behind and drive the ball for four. It's often said that the sign of a really good player is how well he hits the ball off the back foot. Now Gary Kirsten has demonstrated a few of these, and let's see him do it and we'll break the shot down. Okay, Gary, pick your bat up, get across, into line with the ball, turn the shoulder to get the power and hit through the line of the ball with your hands at the same time getting up onto the toe of the left foot. During this video, we're going to have the help of Dave Richardson and Jonty Rhodes. When analysing a hook shot, you've got to remember that it's played to a ball that's coming at you fairly quickly, and actually as a missile, it can actually hurt you very badly. So when you play the hook shot, you've got to remember it's probably better to wear a helmet, as I'm not doing so, and I'm going to break it down, but just remember, do so when you practice it. First thing to remember is that the ball is at head height. Therefore, when you go back, okay, you have got to extend the hands and the arms as far as possible in front of you in order to make contact with the ball. And as you hit it, swivel on your toes and keep the hands straight and follow through. The ball will go down to deep long leg, hopefully. And remember, you've come now inside the original line of the ball because you've swiveled. It's not easy as a batsman to get inside the line of Alan Donald and then hook him. In fact, you have to hook him off your nose and then come inside in order to do so. So it's a very instinctive shot. I'll just go through it again. Remember, you'll need a high back clip because you're playing the ball at head height. Come back and just swivel and hit it down. Okay, so it is an instinctive shot and one that you have to be careful of playing because a quick bowler will try and get you out, caught hooking down at long leg and fine leg. The hook shot certainly concentrates the mind and throws down the gauntlet to the bowler. Notice Gary Kirsten's got into line, straightening his arms, which has given him control of the shot.
Ball from Dool and Kirsten quickly onto it.
The pull shot is distinctly different to the hook shot. Where the hook shot you're playing a ball that's head high, the pull shot the ball will normally be about waist height. And it's played to a ball that's probably just disappearing or going down the leg side. But in order to play this, you must get in a good position. So, first thing to remember is to get the bat nice and high and to go back straight towards middle and off stump there, okay? But turn the toe down the wicket so it allows you to pivot out, okay? Watch the toe again, turn and pivot out so you get nice, big stride here, nice base in which to hit the ball, to hit against the left side, okay? Turn the shoulder towards the ball and hit the ball exactly in front of your eyes at arm's length, okay? Roll the wrists over and let the body turn, bend the knee, and the ball should go in front of square for 4 runs. It's the easiest shot to play. Everyone can play this shot. It gets you into a lot of trouble played badly. I'll show you what can happen. You go here, and your feet don't move, and the arms get close, and you top edge it, and you get out caught by the wicket keeper or at square leg. So you must make sure that when you go back, turn, extend the feet, get them wide, get them parallel to the crease so you can really hit the ball, turn the shoulder, and follow through and hit it for 4. Here are some great examples of the pull played correctly. Don't forget, the movement of the feet is a vital component. There are times in cricket when you're playing against the really quick bowlers like Alan Donald, Brett Schultz, Curtly Ambrose, Craig McDermott, where you aren't able to play the hook shot and you can't, in fact, hit the ball anywhere, and therefore you have to be able to get out of the way. Now I'm going to demonstrate this by using a tennis ball. I advise you to use a tennis ball to start with, or if you're going to use a hard ball, wear a helmet. Okay, let's have a look. All right, and I'm just going to play, and I get down, and I'm always watching the ball. That's important. Watch the ball and get inside it. The next way is to go down underneath the ball, but watch it there, okay? There, that's it. Keep your eye on the ball. Never take your eye off the ball like this, because you don't know where it's going to go. Okay, keep your eye on the ball and duck down. That's right. That's it. Okay, so those are the 2 ways. Let's break that down without the ball now. Okay, you're going back against the quick bowler to give yourself a little bit more time. Use the feet, and as the ball, you're about to play it, and as you see it coming, you sway inside it by bending down, taking your head here, and the ball will go through there. If the ball's coming at you, going down the leg side, you stay here, turn this way, but keep your eye on the ball. Never turn away from the ball, because that's when you get hit. So it's very difficult. Okay, the last one I'm going to demonstrate is when I'm looking to hook the ball, and at the last minute I realise that the ball is too quick for me. Ooh, see? So I got in a bit of trouble. So now I've got to learn to bail out. Going to hook, and then I bail out by bringing my bat down, still keeping my eye on the ball. It's better to get hit on the shoulder than in the face or get out caught behind. Hook and down. That ball was too high, therefore I left it. Good leave. Going to hook, that's too low, keep my hands down. Okay, again, there, and keep my hands down. Okay, so those are the ways that you can leave the ball when the ball is too high and it's too quick for you. There are other times, however, where you need to be able to leave the ball when the bowler bowls you a perfect delivery. There are 2 ways. I won't be able to do this with a ball. What I will do is try and explain to you how to leave the ball when it's pitching on a good length, moving off the seam, or swinging in the air. Pick my bat up. I'm usually forward. I see the ball in the last minute, it's too good for me, and I take the bat out of the way, bailing out here. Watch that. I'm there. Whoops. It's too good for me, so I take the bat out of the way. It's immaculate line and length, so I've got to be careful. The next one is I'm actually playing the shot, it moves off the seam, and the last minute I take my bat out of the way. This is called a curtain rail technique. Watch as I take the bat out of the way. So I'm actually leaving it here. So those are the ways that you can compete with the ball when it is too good for you to score runs off. Just seen Dave Richardson play his favourite cut shot. Now I'm going to break this shot down for you, but before I do, I want you to realise that it is a very dangerous shot, that if not played properly, you're going to get caught in the gully or caught in the slips. Okay, let's see how Dave plays it successfully. Firstly, pick your bat up nice and high to get on top of the ball. And remember, the ball is a wide ball, that's why it's dangerous. Okay, then step across towards the ball, pointing your toe down to third man. This will keep you sideways on in order to hit the ball and allow your shoulders to turn to create the power. Okay, remember that, point the foot down to third man. Right, from there, make sure you swing the bat parallel to the ground, extending the arms to the fullest in order to make contact and create the most power. That creates the power by having your arms extended. Okay, roll the wrists over and lean into the shot to keep the ball down. Remember, lean into it to keep the ball down. Some people, okay, look to cut up now in order to clear the slips and go down to third man. But for this particular shot, I want you to keep the ball down, keep your head over the ball, and make sure the ball goes for 4 behind gully, and it's a great shot if you get it right. Watch Gary Kirsten get above the ball, extend his arms, and play the square cut really well, getting the maximum benefit, 4 runs. There's a distinct difference between the square cut that I've just demonstrated and the late cut. Okay, the late cut is played to a field which is predominantly onside, but I'm going to hit the ball behind square because that is the only gap available to me. I'll play it to an off spinner who's bowling with a leg side field, or to an in-swing bowler if he bowls a little bit wide. Now it's important in this shot to remember that I'm going to play the ball late. So I'm actually going to play the ball out of the wicketkeeper's hands. Let's demonstrate. Okay, pick the bat up. And I'm going to get low on this one because I have to make sure that I don't miss the ball. So I get down low, again my foot pointing down to third man. I get right down and let the ball come past me, and at the last minute I just dab it out of the keeper's hands. Okay, dab it out of the keeper's hands, and if I play it properly, get enough bat on it, it's going to go for 4. It's a great shot, but again it's very dangerous. The final shot in the series of cuts will be the square cut off the front foot. Now this is a very good shot, played on a marvellous wicket and when you're in good nick. Let's demonstrate. Okay, first of all, pick my bat up. And what I do now is I attack the ball, I go at it with my front foot, get my front foot across. It's a wide ball, it's a bad ball. Okay, turn the shoulder to get the power, extend the arms and cut the ball through on the offside. Again, watch that, extend the arms, roll the wrists over it, and I lean into it. And it's sometimes called a square drive, but basically it's a square cut off the front foot. Remember, all cuts should only be played on a wicket with pace and true bounce. Played well, it's a thrilling shot. Played badly, as you can see, will lead to your dismissal.
Didn't really come onto the batters.
When building an innings, the cut shot should only be used as you become more confident.
Catch by Cullen, moving sharply away to his left.
One of the more controversial shots today is the sweep shot. And with me to demonstrate the shot is Jonty Rhodes. Jonty, you enjoy playing the sweep, and why do you do it?
You know, I just found that for a spin bowler to try and dominate me, he's got to bowl a very good line and length. And by using the sweep shot, I can actually upset his length.
That's interesting. What about coming down the wicket? Isn't that an easier way to do it?
You know, people get criticised for not coming down the wicket, but I find if the wicket is turning, I stay in my crease, I'm not going to get stumped. And by playing a defensive sweep shot, I can actually get 1. I'm not trying to hit 4s every ball, but just by getting down to the other end, I'm out of the danger area.
Okay, now let's demonstrate that shot. I'm going to use some fielders. I'm going to use 2 backward short legs, a wicket keeper, silly point, and silly mid-off, who will feed me the ball. Okay, I'm going to start by getting Jonty to start in the finished position. That may sound Irish, but there we are. So that is the defensive sweep position at the end of the shot. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to lob the ball underarm onto the bat so he gets used to hitting the ball to the backward short legs. Okay, now at the second part of the shot, Jonty's now going to take his hands back as though he ready to move into that position, and I'm going to ask him to get into the position as the ball is coming down. Okay, Joe? And down. That's it. Right, and down again. That's it, well done. And now the third part, I'm going to ask him to stand up, okay, and do the whole shot together. All right. And I lob the ball, and he gets into position and throws it, and gets it going down. Okay, and again, and that's it. Good. Here, Jonty highlights the difference between the defensive and the conventional sweep. Getting his body in the same position, he swings his arms at full length, front pad in line and head forward. The intended result of this shot is 4 runs. A new innovation now, of course, is the reverse sweep. And we're going to ask Jonty why and how he plays that.
Well, I think you can leave it out in the test match. It's a really effective shot in one-day cricket, especially when an off-spinner is bowling to you with a predominantly leg side field and there's a big gap behind square on the offside. And I just use the reverse sweep to look for my runs in that area. That's interesting. Okay, let's break that down again and see how we coach that. Okay, guys, now we need 2 fielders on the offside here, a little bit deeper to catch the ball. Okay, we'll have one on the leg side there just in case. Right. Again, I'm going to get Jonty into the right position. That's the end of the shot. And he's going to get there in front of his pad and the bat ready just to take the ball. Again, I should lob it and he'll just flick it back down to those 2 slips. Again, that's it. Now the difference here, okay, when Jonty wants to get in that shot, he's actually got to turn his hands over. Let's have a look. From here, instead of going that way and then trying to turn, he's going to actually go over the top and turn from there. Okay? Right, let's watch that. Right, from the back lift, turns the hands over, and he flicks the ball down. Again, turns the hand over, and flicks the ball down. Now we get him to stand up. This is the hard part. Again, remember it's a full toss. He's going to run it down there for 2 runs. Okay, and down. Well done. That's good. Again, he moves into position, and that's it. That's the reverse sweep. The reason the right hand moves over the left in the reverse sweep is to ensure that the hands don't move away from the line of the ball. Play the shot with caution, and remember, it's played to change a spin bowler's line and length. Running between the wickets is a vital part of batsmanship. You've just seen a prime example of how not to do it. Let's see if they can do it correctly this time. Yes, no, keeper! Okay, well you've just seen them do it correctly. That was very good. Dave Richardson is called early, sent Jonty back. Jonty's got back easily. So that's to running between the wickets. Calling quickly. Let's have a look at the points we need to avoid. Jonty has started running before calling. And the biggest crime, both players are ball watching. In this example in Test cricket, you can see both batsmen are ball watching. The batsman at the striker's end has decided there is no run. The non-striker has decided he can get in, but the level of communication is nil. Result, run out. In this example, Jonty has called early, communicated as they crossed, got low to gain maximum reach and slid his bat over the line to ensure the run is completed. While Dave Richardson, now facing the ball, has called for the second, and Jonty slides his bat in, a prerequisite of running between the wickets. There are only 3 calls, and this is what they mean. Jonty, you're the next man in. Do you get nervous? Of course I do. I think everyone does get nervous to a degree. It's quite important to be able to, I think, use your nerves, control it, and channel it in the right direction, because it will make you a lot sharper. The adrenaline is definitely pumping. And if you can control your nerves, I think you can go out to the field being really sharp.
What preparation are you going to do now, just before you go in?
Well, I like to get out and have a look at what the bowlers are doing, see the state of the ball, see if it's swinging or not. We're quite fortunate we've got the television, so we can look at the replays in the change room and just see where the fielders are, where the better fielders are, if the guy's left-handed or right-handed, where the singles are, and if we're scoring in a one-day game, where we're scoring, where we aren't scoring. So by the time I get out there, hopefully I've got a game plan already.
Yeah, on the way to the wicket, any tips for the boys?
Well, I like to get my feet moving. It's quite important that the first ball you face, the bowler obviously wants to get in the right place, and you want to be ready for it. And if your feet aren't moving, if you're a little bit nervous and you're a bit tentative, you tend to stiffen up a bit, and then your feet don't move. And I think in cricket, I like to run a bit in the spot before I get out to the wicket. I might look a bit like a prancing horse, but by the time I get there, my feet are moving and my adrenaline is flowing in the right direction.
When you've got to the wicket, you've taken guard. What do you do now? I mean,
well, I want the bowler to bowl at me. I want to make it easy for myself as possible. And if I start playing shots outside the off stump, the bowler's got more of a chance to getting me out. So I like to know where my off stump is. I take my guard and also mark where my off stump is and just try and score my runs off the body and mainly on the leg side. If he bowls me a half volley on off stump, I'm going to obviously drive it. But initially, for the first sort of half an hour of my innings, unless it's a one-day game, the situation calls for otherwise, I'm going to play as straight as possible and just make sure I play down the line of the ball.
Right, you've got to 30. Okay, you've got to 30, and now the pressure's off you a little bit. How do you keep your concentration going?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, you just one slip up and you're out again. And in five-day cricket, especially in first-class cricket, 30s and 40s, we've learnt now that it's just not good enough for anyone. And you've got to keep treating each ball as it comes. I think the biggest mistake you start doing once you've got 30 or 40 is premeditating a shot. You think, well, if he bowls it, yeah, I'm going to play it. Well, the next ball I'm going to play it to leg side, or I'm going to sweep it. I'm going to sweep it for 4, rather than just play each ball on its merits. I think it's important that you remain focused on each ball. You remain focused on each bowler as well. Especially if you've got to 30, you probably have 1 or 2 bowling changes. You've got to get to know what each bowler is doing, and make sure you've worked out how the pitch is playing.
When you've some batsmen that I've talked to like to go up in 10s. Do you use that method at all?
I like to use that in a partnership, not for myself in 10s, but batting with the other guy.
Right.
I just find if you're setting a total, if you say, okay, we're going to score 100, that's quite a daunting sort of task. And between the two of you, if you're scoring at 10s, between the two of you, I could score 1, and he might score 2 boundaries in a 1, and we've got 10. So it takes the pressure off me. Whereas if I'm thinking I must score 10s, then if I go with a few overs without scoring, then I'm putting myself under a bit of pressure. But if we're doing the 10s together, I do find it takes the pressure off both batsmen, because if I have a good over and he has a bad over, at least we're still sticking to our task.
You got to 50. Is that a danger period for you? Sort of a relief period, or are you looking to sort of go on from there?
It is a relief, but I also think I think the biggest danger area is about 60 or 70, because after 50 you always get told to start again, and you do tend to start again, and you're playing as correctly as possible from 50 to 60. But once you're on 60, you think, well, I'm away, and you play a few more shots than you would say between 20 and 30. So by getting to 70, that for me is a danger period between 70 and 100, because straight after 50 I tend to start again and do concentrate for the next 10 or 15 runs. But then after that I get a bit loose.
So it'd be quite important then, once you get to that danger period, or you recognise that danger period, that maybe you should take guard again, have a look at the field again, compose yourself, get ready again. Would you agree with that?
I think it'd be really useful. People talk about 50s and 100s, but I think you can even break it down, like you say, into a danger period, which for me is between sort of 60 and 70. So if I can break that down and start again and keep going in the 10s, instead of looking for the 100 or the 50 and being a bit loose.
Now you're playing Test match cricket, you've got to 120. What are your targets now?
I still think it's really important. Test cricket is really hard. You can get some really top bowlers, you can get a bad decision, you can play a bad shot. And if it's your day, if you get to 120, you've actually got to make it really big. Because there could be a batsman coming in, you could think, well, we're 300 for 3, and I'm on 120, I've done my job. But the next 3 or 4 batsmen might get either a good delivery or a bad decision. And if it's your day, you've got to make it count. I think that the better Test players we've seen and have played against have scored really big hundreds against us. And we know what it's like when a chap scores 170. That's making it big. Rather than 110 or 113 or 120, if it's your day, you've really got to go right through and score over 150.
That's really good advice from a really good Test cricketer. And all of you who listen to that, it's important to build an innings and work hard on it. It's very important for amateur cricketers to look after their bat properly. Here I have a new bat, and you'll see that it hasn't been touched at all. And basically what we need to do here is actually just put linseed oil on it to give it a nice binding, to make sure that the bat doesn't crack before you use it. Now don't put too much oil on, just a little dab on there, and then using your fingers, just apply the oil gently right across the surface, right the way down, along the edges, all the parts that you're going to use. Remember, you bought the bat, you're allowed to use all of it, and just get it in there nice and easy, okay? Let it go in there, and then just leave it down to dry. And here we have the slightly older bat. okay, which looks as though someone scored 500 runs on it. And we're just going to first of all use a slightly thick piece of sandpaper and just get the marks off first before we oil it again. Okay, so first of all just sand it off. You can see quite clearly that the sand and the marks are coming off here and the dirty marks at the bottom. Sandpaper it nice and easy right across the whole bat. Using the edges as well. And then take the thick sandpaper, put it down, find some nice fine flour paper and just smooth it off nice and easy there, like that. Okay. And then finish off with a very small piece of oil on the bat. Just a little dab. Okay. Rub it in with your hands. Right up the edges. That's it. Make sure you, and the bottom of the bat as well, that's very important you do the bottom of the bat. Okay, and then when you finish, just take a cloth, gently wipe it off, and there you are, that bat's ready to go into storage for the winter and will last you a long time. As you can see here, we've got a bat that's badly cracked and very dry, so this one we have to do quite a lot of work on. First of all, again, get the sandpaper and get these edges down, and get those cracks especially as low as possible, and that's going to take some time. Don't be scared to make the holes a little bit bigger if you have to. Really get that off and work hard on those cracks. Okay. Blow away the dirt. Now you see you've got these cracks compressed in there. You might need to plug them, but in this particular instance we can't do that. So we're going to tape them with what we've got here is fiberglass tape. It's available at all the sports shops, and you just merely tape over the top of that crack. Reinforce it, it's very strong tape, take it all the way around, reinforce it again, nice and easily there, and then take it to the back and cut it off. You see, that tape will hold that bat and hold that crack nicely for you. I think it's very important that you make your job enjoyable as well as the people you're teaching enjoyable. And to do that you need to plan your coaching carefully. What I've done is used here a cricket coaching school term planner to get you through a school term season. For example, in a school term you might have 9 weeks in which you're going to coach cricket.